Metabolism is the set of enzyme-catalyzed chemical reactions that transport energy and make life possible. It's these reactions that allow organisms to grow and reproduce, maintain their structures, and respond to their environments. Metabolism constitutes the two processes of catabolism and anabolism. Catabolism is the breaking of bonds to obtain energy, and anabolism is the forming of new bonds to create new cells. We will focus on catabolism. There are several pathways of reactions in metabolism that provide energy to an organism. These are fermentation, aerobic respiration, and anaerobic respiration. All of these pathways produce the energy currency of living systems, ATP, or adenosine triphosphate. Each of the pathways starts with the breakdown of carbon via glycolysis. Glycolysis is the process by which glucose is broken down into pyruvate, producing ATP and NADH.
Fermentation is a process by which carbon sources are broken down via glycolysis. Pyruvate is then converted into acetaldehyde, which is then converted into some type of alcohol producing NAD+ to fuel glycolysis. Fermentation produces two ATP molecules during glycolysis and is thus relatively inefficient. Breaking bonds via glycolysis is very much like the process of fission, where interatomic bonds are broken to create energy, much like in an atomic bomb.
In both types of respiration, carbon sources are broken down and ATP is created via glycolysis and the TCA cycle. The TCA cycle, or Krebs cycle, breaks down carbohydrates, fats, and proteins and produces ATP, NADH, and FADH2 to fuel the electron transport chain. In the electron transport chain, proteins embedded in the cellular membrane break the bonds between the hydrogen ions and NADH and FADH2, creating a gradient of low concentration of protons within the cell and high concentration outside the cell. This gradient causes a proton motive force, which moves protons through the protein ATP synthase, which phosphorylates ADP into ATP. ATP synthase works like the turbines in a dam. As water passes through the dam, the turbines are forced to move, creating energy. The difference between aerobic and anaerobic respiration is in the final electron acceptor. In aerobic respiration, it is oxygen. In anaerobic respiration, it is any molecule but oxygen.
Metabolism is a process by which living organisms transform and transfer energy to carry out the necessary functions in an efficient manner. This is essentially the goal of engineering, to use available energy in a sustainable and efficient way. From an engineering point of view, metabolism is the means of production of energy. Life has selected the most efficient pathways by which it creates this energy by creating cycles that reuse energy. The outputs of one series of reactions become the inputs of another series of reactions, and the creation of energy is ongoing. It's processes like these that inspire engineers of all disciplines to develop new techniques to render our lifestyles more sustainable and efficient.